So before I begin my Friday reads and talking about what I'll be reading the upcoming weekend, I just wanted to share a special surprise I found at work this week. I walked in and found a cute little package. I'm going to kind of fold it up so you don't see the address, but I received it from Australia, from Karen. She's a subscriber to my channel. This is totally unexpected. Did not know she was sending this to me. Inside was this cute little wrapping, which she apologizes for the crude packaging, but I think is absolutely adorable. And she sent me a couple little, really cute little gifts here. I just wanted you to see it, and also so if she's watching, she'll know that it arrived, because she wasn't quite sure that she had gotten the address of where I work correct, and you did it perfect, exact correct address. But anyway, it was super cute. Inside was this adorable card with a wonderful, wonderful little note in here. And she sent a cute, like, magnetic bookmark. I love magnetic bookmarks, by the way. It's the only ones that seem to stay in my books. And on one side, there's a kangaroo and a cute little koala. And then there's another bookmark here with lots of little creatures from Australia. Super darling. And these adorable little keychains. I mean, check these out. A little koala and a little kangaroo, both with little jumpers on them, little Australian jumpers, and so cute. I'm not sure where I'm going to put these yet, but they're going to find a special home. So thank you again, Karen. It was so sweet of you. It's so totally unexpected, but I love everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what I'll be reading this weekend. Although I do have to work Sunday night into Monday because it's our store's inventory, so that'll be tying up some of my time. But anyway, my current audiobook is Kristen Hanna's The Nightingale. I've been waiting for this to kind of become available at my library, and I am really enjoying it so far. I just kind of started it today, but it's the story following pretty much two young girls, Vienne and Isabel. It begins when Isabel's like 4 years old, and Vienne's much older. She's more like in her teens, so there's quite a gap between the ages. But their mother dies, and their father just seems to kind of abandon them, sends them off to a boarding school, and that's sort of it. And Isabel is a bit of a restless spirit. She's in and out of boarding school. She runs away from one. She's kicked out of another one. Finally, I think they've had enough, and they send her back to her father, who's not thrilled that she's back. Vienne has sort of moved on. She's gotten married, has a child, Sophie, and has a life of her own. But now the war is encroaching. We're approaching World War II, and the Nazis are on the move, and all the men are kind of being called up to the front, including her husband. And we kind of follow at one point where Isabel is sort of being evacuated from the area as the Nazis are invading France. And she goes to meet up with her sister. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So it is a story centered kind of around these two girls and the war. The other book I'm reading is a classic. This is Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Been wanting to read this for quite some time. The only thing I knew about it is, he, he's in a shipwreck, and he ends up on a desert island all alone. And after quite some time, he sees a footprint in the sand. That's all I knew about it. So currently I'm on page 80, and I didn't realize this, but there are absolutely no chapters within this book. So it just goes on and on and on. And it was interesting because the first 66 pages you kind of learn about Robinson. He's the youngest of three sons. The oldest son died in the war. The second son it's kind of really ambiguous. It seems like no one seems to know where he just disappeared. And the father just wants the third son, Robinson, to just have take the middle road, take an easy life, just get a profession, home, family, and take it easy. But he has a bit of a wanderlust kind of attitude. He wants to go to sea and sail, and he's not much of a sailor. First ship sinks, second one is attacked, he's captured, taken as a slave, manages to escape, and gets settled, starts like a plantation and stuff, and then goes into some kind of agreement with these other people to sail off and get some slaves to help work on all their plantations and stuff. Well, that's the ship that sinks and puts him on a desert island. So since his mission was to go after slaves, I'm not too sorry the fact that he ended up shipwrecked. But this first 66 pages kind of talks about his life and his decisions and his misfortune at sea, and till he's eventually on this island. And then it talks about him kind of, trying to set up, shelter and things like that. And then he sits down to like writing his journal, and then you read his journal. And his journal kind of repeats everything I just read for the first 66 pages, which I thought, why did they do that? Why didn't they just start the whole thing from the journal point of view? Why did he like tell a story and then tell it again in the journal? But besides the fact, I am actually enjoying it. I was just a little, it's kind of finally caught up to that point at page 66, now up to page 80, where I'm beyond that first part of the story. I don't have to hear it twice. It's all kind of new from this point on. The language isn't too bad, not too archaic. There's a little weird things with like spelling and stuff, different types of spelling, and whenever anything ends in ed, they seem to take out the e and put a little apostrophe, which I thought is kind of odd. But I am really enjoying the story overall. And the last one I'm reading is a manga, and this is Tomi by Junji Ito. This is sort of like a horror manga specialist. I mean, I can just show you this one image right here. Will tell you, pretty creepy. That's about how far I am. I still have to read this part here. Overall, I'm not super thrilled with it. I liked some of his other works. I'm hoping it'll get better, but Tomi's a succubus who can seduce nearly any man to do whatever she wants. Usually it's to kill somebody, or even sometimes they end up killing her, but she doesn't completely die. She kind of comes back, and if they chop her up into little bits, she'll come back to many different versions of her. You'll see at one point there's like a whole bunch of her climbing up out of the sea and walking across the ground. It's a strange book, I gotta tell you. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish it and see what I think overall at the end. So again, that's what I am reading this weekend and going forward. And say goodbye to my little friends. Thanks again, Karen, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.